Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Fairy Dust TV. I'm your host, Jen Burton, romantic fairy godmama for smart, successful, single women around the world. Today's topic, this is a good one, understanding men. Now, before I dive into what you need to know about men, I have two, we'll call them disclosures for you. Disclosure A, when I talk about men today, I am talking about mentally stable guys, okay? And there are tons of mentally stable single men out there, ladies. Okay. B, in the dating world, there are a lot of people that are trying to convince you, ladies, that if you understand men, you are going to have the key to the romantic kingdom of having everything you want. And the truth is, that's only this much true. Okay? And I really want you to understand that before I share what I'm going to share with you today, because your key to the romantic kingdom comes more, exponentially more, from understanding who you are romantically than it does any other piece. Understanding men is only the cherry on top. It is not what's going to make the difference, the substantial difference in your love life. But it can be very, very helpful when you know what you're doing and know how to use it appropriately. Still, it's about you, lover girl. Mainly about you. Okay, so let's get started diving into today's topic, understanding men. And again, so many people are going to try to tell you, oh, if you understand all these things about men, oh, it's going to make a world of difference in your love life. No, what it's going to do is drive you freaking crazy and insane trying to keep up with all the rules and regulations. But there are some key pieces you do need to know. And that first key piece, number one, is that most men are not wired to be pursued by you long term. So before I elaborate on this, yes, it is very sexy for a woman who is bold and knows what she wants and will approach and has no fear of approaching a man. I'm not taking that away from you. I don't want you to play like it's not okay for you to be bold in romantic situations. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. What I am talking about is if you're the woman who ends up, even before exclusivity, if you're the one who's arranging all the dates, who's asking to go out, who is trying to make everything happen for this romantic relationship to evolve. If you're the one that's doing that and driving that, you're in the pursuing mode. And that dynamic needs to change if you want something long term, because two things usually happen, okay, when you're in that mode. One, you end up pushing him away, or two, you end up resenting him, because we women are wired to be desired and pursued. Okay, not that we can't do the other way around. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I've already mentioned that it can be very sexy to be bold at times, but if it's only you, then you're short-circuiting something that's either going to put you in a really bad mood most of the time and start resenting him, or you're going to push him away. Okay, so let's move on to number two. And that is, men are not looking for a yes woman. So yes woman, which means they're not looking for you to agree with them all the time. Again, we're referencing mentally stable men. They like a little bit of a mental challenge, okay? They actually, sometimes a lot, depends on the guy. But I want you to know that I don't want you to show up and say and be the woman who doesn't say what she wants or who she is or the things she likes romantically, because you're so afraid of pushing him away. You do not have to agree with every point he has. Now, I'm not asking you to be contrary all the time, but you do not have to be his yes woman for him to find you wildly attractive. And a lot of times, if you are, you'll end up pushing him away as well, because most men are not looking for that woman that they can just control all the time, or have her do anything that he wants and it's all about him. Men like to know what's going on with you as well. And those that don't, again, that's a separate category. That's not what we're talking about here. And if that's what you're looking for, then that's not what you're going to find here, and not something that I can help you with, because it will kill your soul over time. I am talking to smart, professional women who want equals in a relationship and want something long-term that that is fulfilling in their life and really means something powerful to them. They want a guy that meets them on that level. And I'm telling you, most mentally stable, great guys, they want exactly the same thing. Moving on into number 3. Now, we were talking about just a minute ago being, not being his yes woman. But now we're moving into something just a little bit different. And men, I want you to know about men. Men thrive in being appreciated. Okay, so another really fast way to push away a man is through constant criticism, fault finding, and stereotyping. That man hating that we women do so well because we get frustrated with men. That's a very easy way to keep pushing your love life away. Okay, so even I know a lot of women who will do this, and I used to be guilty of this myself. We're complaining about our love lives. We blame it on men. We keep blaming them, and we're pushing them further away. And we might have a guy that comes in, and all of a sudden he's amazing for a little while, but then he's gone. And that's because that fault finding, that criticism, that stereotyping starts to come up. Even if it's not coming out of your mouth, it's still coming up energetically. And then there are women who just don't think that they ever owe a guy a thank you. I can't tell you how far a thank you goes with a man. Men thrive in being appreciated. We all do at some level, but men especially do. They want to feel like you actually want them around and you appreciate what they bring to the table. Now, we all know, we've evolved enough as women that we don't have to have a man in our life to be a complete woman. But the truth is most of us really, really want one and would like one. So feel free to appreciate the men in your life, not just romantically. Romantically, it works really well, but around you as well. Men thrive in that appreciation from you, okay? And finally, let's talk about number 4. This is important, okay? A lot of women, they use all kinds of excuses about why men leave them. Most men leave you, or they don't stay around because of how they feel at some point being around you, which means number 4 is how he feels around you determines long-term chemistry. So long-term chemistry isn't just sexual. It can be a very important component, but it's not exclusively what determines long-term chemistry. It is, more importantly, is how he feels around you, how much fun he has when he's with you, how you make him feel in those moments. Does he always feel criticized by you? Does he always feel that you're fault finding? Are you always so serious that you guys can never just have a little fun, cut loose? It's all those little things, because playfulness determines long-term chemistry more than the sexual component. Plus, playfulness is the shortcut to getting back to the sexual component, that high sexual chemistry, faster than anything else. If it disappears or dissipates for a while, your playfulness, your fun, that is the fastest way to get back to that sexual chemistry. And I want you to remember that, if he seems to be pulling away from you, or if a guy you're dating starts to be pulling away from you, I don't want you to freak out and try to make everything right, but I want you to kind of assess how much fun have you guys been having together. If a guy starts pulling away from you, I want you to think about, have you guys been having a great time together, or is it always kind of bland and boring, or kind of the same old thing? And when you two connect again, do something a little bit different to not necessarily spice it up, as everyone wants to tell you. You can spice it up. It can be a sexual if you guys are on that level, but I always think that going for the playful is a more solid bet to getting his attention back on you than anything else. So I've given you 4 great pieces to truly understanding men. And again, like I mentioned before, this is the cherry on top stuff, okay? It's not about changing who you are. It's not about being somebody that you're not. It's about understanding enough that gives you an opening to explore who you are romantically and respond to men in a way that draws them in even more, so that he can't stop thinking about you. With that said, I have a class for you on understanding men. It's about a 30-minute class that you can find underneath this video, and we'll dive even deeper, keeping you on track with the things that you actually need to know and not the things that are going to make you crazy. So I want to thank you for joining me for this very awesome edition of Fairy Dust TV. Well, at least I think it's awesome. hope you thought it was awesome as well. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Bye, Lover Girl.